Hey everybody, welcome to Stigma, a collective diary. Thank you so much for joining me on this very first episode of hopefully a long journey of breaking the stigma around mental illness. What I have in mind for this first episode is literally just an introduction of who I am, a little about me, and what to expect from future episodes. So I am Cedrice Williams Johnson. Nice to meet you if we don't know each other already. Today I had my second session of therapy. So this was week 2. I've mentioned on social media that this is going to be a very hard month. My first session was only just an evaluation, but it did bring out the reality of my mental illnesses. I have depression, I have anxiety and panic disorders, and I have PTSD. So there is a lot that is going on in my brain, and I am doing things to get on the road for recovery, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to come to terms with the reality of my mental illnesses, because I've been aware of them since I was very young, but now I'm talking about them. And other than just talking about them with a therapist and my doctor, I want to talk about them with you. I want to talk to people who also may be experiencing things similar to me. Even if you're not experiencing things similar to me, I want you to be able to feel that you're not alone. That there are people out there that are living their lives like you. If you have a story that's different than mine, I would love to hear that. I'll talk about that later in this episode. But essentially, that's me. I have mental illnesses. I've been struggling with it for most of my life. And that's okay. That is completely okay. It took a long time for me to come to terms with this, and I don't think I've completely come to terms with it either. I think I'd be lying if I said that, but I have come to terms with the sense of speaking out about it. I don't think it's anything I should hide, and I know it's hard to speak to it sometimes, and I've felt it completely where if you tell someone you're having a bad day and you try to explain it and you can't explain it, somebody might side-eye you or glance at you like, okay, we'll get over it. And you know what? Screw them. I understand that it might be hard for people to accept that, but they shouldn't judge you over it. Everybody's gonna have a bad day. We just might have a couple more bad days, or a week, or a month, or a year. And that's fine. What I'm finding out is what's not fine is not dealing with it. What my biggest issue so far is I don't know how to cope. I don't know how to get past things. I don't know how to answer those what if questions. I what if everything. I find it hard to get out because I think, what if this happens? What if this? What if this? What if this? And one thing my therapist told me was answer those questions. It's okay to have those questions, but answer them. Don't let them build up and continue to hold you back. Answer those questions, and sometimes those questions might not have good answers, but it's better than leaving them open. But more often than not, answering those questions will reveal that there is something behind you that you can deal with it. So like driving, Seattle driving when it's raining, if you know Seattle in the rain and their drivers, top notch. I've almost been in accidents multiple times, and that scares me. And a lot of times I'm like, what if I do get in an accident? And she's like, well, what if? Do you have AAA? Do you have insurance? And I said, yeah, I have insurance. Okay, well, what if you do get in a car accident? You know you have a system to help you out if you do. And I told her, well, that's not even necessarily the thing I'm afraid of. And she's like, well, those questions may turn up being something you don't like? What if you are seriously hurt? What if? But what are you gonna do about it? And that was really hard. That was a really hard thing to think about and to listen to, because that is something that holds me back, and fear holds me back a lot. I mean, look what it's doing to me. But it was good. It was really good. It's hard to hear it, and I hate bringing up my faults and the things I'm afraid of, because I feel less than if I do. And I shouldn't. I shouldn't feel less than what I do because I'm afraid. What I need to do is figure out how to get past that fear. And that is what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing with my therapy. Finding out I have PTSD, I mean, it answers a lot of questions of, why my brain has been doing certain things, why I've been feeling a certain way. I realized I was having flashbacks. But I'm trying to heal. And if you're not in that space right now to heal, or you don't know how to get started, that's okay. But just don't think you're alone in this. And that's the whole point of this, is I don't want you to ever think you're alone, or there's someone out there who's not going through this. There is somebody out there who's going through this with you. If you're not ready, it took me years to be ready to go to a therapist. Honestly, I had to go to a therapist because I am on leave for work, because I couldn't handle working anymore. I couldn't handle my day-to-day life. It was just becoming too much anxiety. I was having panic attacks. I found out having a panic attack weekly is too much. So I was having those. I was having anxiety attacks. I was having flashbacks. And I decided to do something about it. I went on leave from work, and I've been off of work for about a month now. And though it's been fantastic not having to go to work and really focusing on myself, it's also been very difficult. It's been very difficult to get myself out of bed when I don't have a purpose, I guess. Because with work, I knew I had to go to work, and I had to work. Now there are things I want to do, but I am so inside myself now. And figuring out how to get outside of myself has been such a struggle. I know I'll get past that, but it's going to take time, and I know it. And I was told it's great to have a plan, but don't push yourself further than you can. I can only do so much, and I'm doing what I can handle right now. And that's me. I will get better. Maybe not. But I'm going to try. All right. So there's a little bit about me. Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of scary sharing that information for anybody to see, but it feels good too. It feels good to not be closed off, I guess. It feels good not to be... people are probably going to judge, and that's fine. I don't care. But beyond myself, I want to talk a little bit more about stigma. So my last video, I did talk about the website a little bit, merchandising, and donations. And I kind of want to touch on those points a little bit more, just so people kind of have an understanding of really what I am trying to get out of this, and where I see it in the future. So Stigma, a collective diary, I want it to be as social as absolutely possible. So I have the Instagram just for like updates and pictures, maybe behind the scenes, anything like that. There's not much behind the scenes. You got my office. But the website's what I'm really going to be utilizing the most. And the reason behind that is I'll be posting the video blogs up there. I'll be posting updates. But one thing that I really want to get going, and I would love your feedback if you're interested, email me. I'm going to be starting a blog called Dear Diary. And essentially what Dear Diary is it's going to be diary entries. So I will be putting my own in, but I would love if people could like email me a diary entry. And it could be anything. It could be, Dear Diary, I slept well. Dear Diary, I had a nightmare, and this is what it was. Dear Diary, I met somebody. Anything. Dear Diary, the coffee I had this morning was the best I've ever had. Or, Dear Diary, I had a really bad day. I felt miserable. Anything like that. And the whole purpose behind Dear Diary is to show we're normal people. We feel the exact same way as people who don't have a mental illness. We may have worse days, and we may have more of those worse days, but we have good days too. And sometimes it might be one good day out of many, many bad days, but that good day could be beautiful. That day could be so normal, so simple, but it meant the world. So Dear Diary, I'll post one soon, within the next couple days. And if you feel like you would like to contribute to that, please email me. The email is acollectivediary@gmail.com. And anything would be great. And the reason also behind this is I want people to be able to respond and comment on this. So if somebody is having a bad day, maybe going in and saying, I hear you. I'm listening. I'm here for you. It doesn't have to be anything like, oh, this is what I do when I feel bad. But even still, that might be amazing because that thing might help somebody else out. You never know. So, Dear Diary, coming soon. Feedback, diary entries, I would love it all. Email me. If you know me personally, text me, call me, Facebook, whatever. I'm an open book right now. I would love to hear it. I would love to connect to everybody. Even if you don't have a mental illness, being an ally, being someone who's like, I see what they're going through, and I'm not going to judge them because of this. I might have a hard time understanding what they're going through because I don't go through that. And that's totally fine. I have a mental illness and somebody else might have a mental illness, but I may not understand what they're going through. It's going to be totally different for everybody. And that's why I want it to be social, is I want people to see, oh, that person is experiencing what I'm experiencing. I'm not alone. So that's one part of it. The next part is soon, again, I'll have donations up for the Trevor Project because I really want to get the community more aware of the Trevor Project. It's really focused on LGBTQA teens and youths, but what's really great about the Trevor Project, it is a 24/7 national hotline. So they are there. They're a nonprofit hotline that's there to support not only the LGBT community, but anybody in need. 24/7. So donations to them helps them because it allows them to pay for shifts so people can actually get paid, and then it keeps it open to you have to keep a line open, and that costs money. So I would love to set up a donation page for that. If you'd like to donate even $1, that would be amazing. But if there's another organization you think that would be great for donations, I would love to hear that as well. I want people to be as aware of these organizations and companies that are there to support people with mental illnesses or just are struggling through life, and they're there to help them out. So if you have an organization that you are so in love with or believe that they're there for the people and to help people out, I would love to hear that, and I would love to set up a donation page for that. So let's keep those in mind. Let's continue to just be there for each other. And then last, I will be setting up a merchandise store. So hopefully soon I'll have my first shirt in. But essentially what this is for is, one, to help keep this running, but also part of the sales will go to a charity as well. I want to get as much money, as much funding in for these things as possible, because you always hear about donations for physical diseases, but what about mental? Because there's still such a stigma, because it's not something you see. Like, it's not something you physically see, so people have a hard time really understanding what a mental illness is, or are you really sick? Not necessarily, but it doesn't mean that it affects me any less. So, merchandise, look for that. Like I said before in my last video, if you have any ideas like shirts, beanies, hats, if you want a sweater, let me know. But let's keep this going. Hashtag stop the stigma. Yeah. Alright. Well, I just kind of wanted to get an introduction on myself as well as Stigma. I do hope it grows. I hope people can connect and grow and fight the stigma around mental illness together. And again, this is a community thing. It's a social thing. So any kind of feedback, any kind of ideas, I am so open to, and I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your stories. I would love for someone to come and talk with me as well if they would like to do that. Whatever you're comfortable, and then also keep an eye out for that Dear Diary. And hopefully we can have a social diary going soon, so people can see how we all live, how everybody lives. It's not so terrible sometimes. All right. Have a good day.